Hey, fam team, your fierce, amazing, bold. This is your sales director, Tina Johnson, and I am so excited. We have new consultant boot camp number 3. It is money and inventory management. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so I get excited about all parts of our business, okay? But let's face it, most people come into our company looking to make some money, okay? And so this is where I get really excited because, so personally, I came into the company for the fun. That's why I came in. I came in for fun and to make some new friends. Okay. I had another career. I had a good paying job. I wasn't looking for extra money at that point in my life. But I have to tell you, I have stayed, yes, because of the sisterhood and all those good things, but I have stayed because of the money. Because at different points in your life, your needs will change, believe it or not. Okay. And so we're here to talk about money and inventory management because it is the thing that will keep you in business, but it's also the thing that can make you go out of business. Okay. And so I'm going to be sharing, of course, I have my notes. Okay. You guys, you know me and my notes. All right. So I'm going to share a bunch of different things as far as why this is important. Okay. And then the different topics that we're going to cover today is how to write up a sales ticket, tracking your sales and your money, replenishing your inventory and inventory options. Here we go. Oh, see my cute little t-shirt, my little MK Life t-shirt. Okay, I like this little t-shirt. It's got some gold sparkles and all that kind of good stuff. We'll talk about that too. Replenishing your inventory options, tracking expenses, tracking your sales and income for taxes, and setting your goals. How to use your Mary Kay money to pay for things instead of it coming out of the family budget. Yes. Yes. Okay. Why are we talking about this and why is this important? Okay. Well, in kind of the sequence, you guys have booked your appointments, okay? So whether they're one-on-one appointments or parties, you've booked your practice parties, okay? Using the shopping sheet that we've gone over because that will increase your sales, okay? And so now we get to the exciting part, okay? Because you need the bookings because it is said over and over in Mary Kay, when you're out of bookings, you're out of business, okay? And a selling consultant is a happy consultant. I've never met a consultant who was selling product who was upset about that. So that's why we kind of go through our sequence, because if we covered the whole money stuff before you actually had sales and money, it just, this is why I'm lining it up this way for you. Okay. So a couple of things. I grew up not talking about money at all. I was just told, you have your job as a teenager and you put it in the bank. You put it into savings. But we didn't talk about family bills. We didn't talk about how much money we made or how much went to bills or how much, I grew up not talking about that. Okay. And so I've had to learn the hard way on some of those things. And then we have grown up teaching our children talking about money and talking about what it means, right? And because money is not everything, but as they say, it is the thing that gives you choices. Money gives you choices. Okay. And so the other part of this that, part of the reason why when, you start your business, I always tell you that, ask any question at all that you want. There is no such thing as a dumb question, because I came into this company asking, what's a skincare program? Okay. You guys, I have managed my money well. I have not managed my money well. Okay. And then I've turned things around and managed it back to where it needs to be. Okay. So I've made a lot of mistakes in my 20 some years. And if I can share that information, share that wisdom with you and to help you to build your business, it's just like when if you have kids and things like that, you want to help them, so that they have it better and things like that. And so that's why, you guys, if you're, whatever your situation might be, I want you to know that I can be a trusted person as far as like for your business part of it. Like, okay, hey, I'm in quite a hole and I desperately need some cash. Okay, well, I'm your business coach and I'm your business mentor. Let's see what we can do about that. Okay. So the great news is, you guys, is that your Mary Kay business gives people hope. It can give you hope. It can give team members hope. It can give hope. Okay. So that's one of the big things that I want you to know. Okay. Let's see. All questions are on the table, and managing your money will build you a strong foundation. Okay. Couple other things. You are making money. Every sale you make, you are making money. It's a matter of what you're doing with your money that matters, and that will keep you in or out of business, right? Because it's not always how much money you make, it's what you do with what you make. Right? Because there's all that. My husband has studied so much in finances. And so, he shares his wisdom with me. And so there's always that threshold of, if you have a really high paying job, then you'll most likely move to, an upper neighborhood and have a bigger house and newer vehicles and, all those things are greater expenses along with that bigger income. Okay. And so just because you make more doesn't mean that you're saving more or that you have more money to spend. Okay. So just kind of want to, get that out there. And you guys, the guidance that I give you, even all along the way in your business and things like that, are typically things that I have experience with, that I've tried and true, that are tried and true as far as my personal experiences go. I want you around and making money for a long time, because I know, oh my gosh, you guys, the stories and stories and stories that I could share with you, and how Mary Kay has made a difference in my life with the income that I've been able to make. Okay. So, all of those things, and I hope I had kind of sent out my, I refer to her all the time. My super successful pink Cadillac driving friend, Emily Schutte, has a fantastic video. And her video breaks down as far as very specifically what you can do to pay off credit card debt with your Mary Kay money. Okay. So, we're not going to go into all of those nitty gritty details because she already has that resource, right? So why reinvent the wheel? She did a fantastic job. And I very much trust Emily because she's been in business for a long time. She's very successful. I believe she's very, conscientious. And her and I, from what I've seen, align in some of the same values and things like that. Okay. That's why in the ways that I guide you as far as hostess credit and all those kinds of things, I want you to keep as much as your profit as possible. Okay. Sometimes you got to spend a little bit of money to make money, but we're not spending it all because we want some in our pockets. Okay. All right. So there's all those kinds of things. One of the best things about Mary Kay, and one of the best things about why I love to team build and share our Mary Kay opportunity. Listen to this. Did you know you would have to make $200,000 a year and get a 3% raise in order to have an extra $500 a month? Now, when I had a full-time career, I did not make anywhere near $200,000 a year. Okay. And so for me to have an extra $500 a month, Mary Kay is the way. I'm in charge of my own schedule. I have the flexibility. We have, consumable product and things like that. Okay. So, that's why Mary Kay is important. All right. So let's get on with it. Sales ticket. Let's go over, how to do your sales ticket. Okay. So this, oh shoot, you can't really see it. Farther away. Okay. There we go. Okay. I do not have a share screen for the sales ticket. So pardon me that I do not have that available in order for you to be able to see that a little bit easier. I'm just messing with my other screen over here. Okay. So sales ticket, you know, fill out all of their information up here, and then you write down the items here that they are purchasing. And as we learned last time, you write and then you say, oh, and what's next? Oh, and what's next? Until they say they're done. Okay, we don't want to cut them off early from their shopping. And then let's say they are perhaps a hostess and they earned $60 in free product. Okay, and so what I will do is in this first column where it says price, and then in the second column it says amount, so that if they ordered, you know, more than one, you know, oh, the price is $10 each, and if they ordered 2 of them, then the amount column is 20, right? What I will typically do is I will add up the price column, but then at the bottom here where it says subtotal, I will jump it over to right above subtotal, and I will mark that right in there, because then I am going to figure tax on the full retail amount before any discounts. Okay, because then I'm going to figure the sales tax on that, and I'm going to pop it right down here by the sales tax. Then I'm going to go back up here with, you know, let's say over here is $260. So then over here, it adds up, you know, $260 minus the $60. So my subtotal is actually $200, and then plus the tax and then the total. But the tax is going to be figured on $260 because that's the tax that you paid into Mary Kay. So the great thing is come tax time, you don't need to file any separate paperwork. Now, consult your accountant. Okay, consult your accountant. I'm not an accountant. But you don't need to file separate sales tax paperwork because we pay Mary Kay on the retail sales tax. So it's just a transfer. I've already paid it to Mary Kay. I'm just getting it from my customer so that it equals out. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So your sales ticket, you always want to charge it on the full retail before discounts, and check your local area. There's all different sales tax amounts. I think it's usually based upon the county that you live in. Okay, I'm not sure if all states do it that way. I know Wisconsin does it that way. And then as far as I get a lot of questions as far as, do I charge shipping? Now, I personally do not charge shipping to my customers, and I never have. Even when I was just doing a little bit of business. My goal was always to make 1 or 2 orders at the most in a month so that I wouldn't always be spending my profits on shipping. Okay. I want either more money in my pocket or more money for product. Okay. I don't want to spend it on shipping. And so my goal was always to make, like, especially as I was a new consultant building my inventory and things like that, I would do like 2 orders a month. So people would have to wait. Now, if you start with full inventory, man, you know, like, you're ready to go and clip it along. You can, you know, give people product right away and things like that. So I never charged people for shipping because, you know, we are charged a flat rate shipping, whether we order $2 or $2,000. And so I just figured that that was an expense for doing business. So then that becomes an expense for our taxes that we'll talk about in a little bit. Okay. So that's the way I choose to do it. It's your own business. You're an independent contractor. You can do it how you wish. I just know that there is another home-based company that I will sometimes occasionally order from. And the shipping sometimes is almost as much as the product that I'm ordering. So I don't order. Now, Mary Kay, we're fortunate. We don't have, you know, shipping costs that are very expensive at all. But I will tell you, paying that much in shipping prevents me a lot of times from ordering from that company. I'd order more often if I didn't have to pay that much in shipping. That's just me, because I want to keep my money. Okay. I want to keep my money, honey. Okay. Tracking your money. Okay, so tracking your sales. So you've got, you know, people wrote you checks, gave you cash, maybe they Venmoed you money or whatever, your PayPal or whatever your source is. Okay, but you are collecting money from people. Now, we're going to kind of talk in terms of cash or a checkbook, okay, just because it's going to be easier that way. All right. So, tracking your money, you want to make sure that you do have your own checking account for your Mary Kay. And when you go to open a checking account, you don't want to open an official business account because there's extra fees and things like that associated with it. Okay. But you want to I just opened another personal checking account so that it's separate. Okay. All of my Mary Kay money gets deposited into my gold checkbook. Okay. And it's, just what does it say at the top? I have my own checks in here and things like that. I just have up at the top, Tina Johnson, independent beauty consultant. And then I have my information, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And so just so that you know that you want to keep it separate. Okay. You don't want to be commingling it with your personal, finances and your personal family budget and things like that. Okay. So that's my first tip there. Then as far as how do you manage it? So once you get it, what do you do with it? Yes, we do make 50% profit. However, Mary Kay really recommends that we do what's considered what we call the 60-40 split. Okay. Now, what that means is 60%. So if you have $100, okay, $100 to deposit into the bank, that means 60% of it is going to go to reorder more product. 40% of it is your profit. That's your spending money. Okay. So if you have $100 that you got in, somebody handed you a $100 bill from product that they ordered. Okay. So you're going to put that in the bank, and $60 of that is going to be allocated to reorder more product, and $40 is your spending money. Okay. So the reason why we do the 60-40 split is because 50% of it goes to replenish product, and then the other 10% is for tax, shipping, and like section 2, like books, samples, more little trays, mascara ones, samples to send out, those kinds of things. Okay. So doing the 60-40 split, I found keeps me in business. Okay. Because if you split it 50-50, you're not going to have, you're going to deplete your inventory. Okay. So it's 60-40 split. Now, when I was just going to say now, okay, I'll talk about inventory in the next section here. I was going to tell you a story, but we're going to save that one. Okay. So tracking your money, you want to have your own checking account and the 60-40 split. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a screen share here. Give me just a second. Okay. So this document is something that my husband, it's not anything official from Mary Kay. So just so that you know, but it's a document that my husband created. He is very, very good with finances. He's self-taught and stuff like that. So he wrote this up in plain English because he needed to for me. So hopefully this helps you. Okay. And so just like he says here, and I can send this out too, although you earn 50% on the product you sell, you should set aside 60%. This takes into account the money needed for demo items, product giveaways, cost of applicators, and things like that. The money on the 40% should be used for business expenses and paying yourself. Okay. So we'll talk about that in a little bit later, but you'll have to figure out how much of the 40% you want to set aside for business purposes and expenses like postage, meetings, event costs, computers, paper, cell phone expenses, things like that. Okay. So that is that piece of it. Hold on, stop sharing. Okay, here we go. So what I want to show you is, now I have a spreadsheet that we track everything. Okay. My husband made this Excel spreadsheet that he puts, I do not create those. Okay. But he puts the little formulas in there so that I enter when I have, let's say I took $100 to the bank, $100 check to the bank and deposited it. Then I enter the deposit and then it automatically splits it into the product side and my profit side. It automatically splits it 60-40. I will tell you, when I first started out with my business, I would take my check register. Okay, I didn't have a spreadsheet. You guys, we barely had computers. I didn't have a computer when I first started, you guys. That was the very first thing that I bought with my Mary Kay money. I saved up my money and I bought my very first computer with Mary Kay money. Okay. I had to go to the library to use the computer because I didn't have a computer. So what I would do is in my check register here, okay, so I would write in deposit check. Okay, so I'd have maybe a stack of checks, okay, but I'm just going to give you this example. I deposit, okay, sales checks, and then what I would do is I would put like up in this, like right here, okay, I would put in how much it was. So let's say it was $100. I'd put $100 right here. But then what I did was on this side, I had 60% put up here and 40% up here. So I would split this, okay? One column was 60%, one column was 40%. So I'd take this amount. So I had $100 written here, okay? In the 60% side, I would put $60. In the 40% side, I would put $40. So then, the next week, I had a deposit of another $100. That was the total. And then I would add it, my $60, add in my $40. So then, I had the running total. And so then I knew what I had in my 60% side for product and what I had in my 40% side for spending money and expenses. Okay. So I needed that spelled out for me. Okay. You might see different methods and things like that, but I needed that spelled out for me. So I knew exactly how much money I had to make an order with. And I wasn't going over that amount. I had exactly what I knew, or I knew exactly what I had on the 40% side. So I knew what I had for spending money. Okay. Now, if I had my eye on, a great pair of shoes or a bag, or I wanted to go out to dinner and I didn't have enough money in that 40% side, you don't steal from the 60% side or you're going to be out of business. It means I was dialing for dollars and calling a few more customers to increase my sales because I wanted more profit. That's how that works. Okay. You have to have a motivator there. Okay. So I hope that makes sense as far as that's how you track your money in the 60-40 split. Okay. Emily also explains more of that in, more examples and more detail and things like that in that video. Okay. Now, as far as, okay, now we're going to go back to this fabulous document that my wonderful hubby made. Okay, so this is how we do it. Like I said, we're not an accountant, but this is how we do it. Okay, so for example, and then you'll have that was just money from your sales. You'll also have money from commissions. Okay, and you can decide what you want to do with that. Okay, so for example, if you had basically $300 a week in sales, okay, then that would be your monthly total of $1,200. If you had monthly expenses of $200, like this is how it breaks down. Now, this was an example from, a long time ago, but really, truly, the $1,000 a year for event, pretty closely covers seminar and fall advance and career conference, depending what that looks like. Okay. Business insurance. Okay, just a little snippet about business insurance. Because I have people come to my home, I have business insurance. If someone were coming to my home for a makeover and they slipped and fell on the sidewalk, I have insurance for that. So I have that type of business insurance. I also have inventory insurance because I carry a lot of my inventory in my car. If I were to have a car accident and something happened to my inventory, my car insurance is not going to cover my inventory. So if I'm carrying $5,000 in inventory, okay, so that's why you need business insurance. Now, that has changed for me over the years. We used to be with one company and never even, never thought about looking at, other companies and things like that. Gosh, I think I was paying, now this was a long time ago, probably 15 years ago. And I was paying over $200 a year for my insurance on both of those things. Then I went to the direct selling insurance. There's direct sellers insurance, which that was a good deal. That wound up being about $200 a year. Now recently, over, I would say, the last 3 years, our insurance company, we somehow have it under our homeowners insurance, and my insurance agents assured me that it's the same kind of coverage, and I'm paying like $50 a year. So it pays to ask your insurance agent what that looks like. You also want to take things into consideration. If you have a claim, let's say something happens in your car and your inventory, is destroyed. If you file that claim, if it's connected to your homeowner's insurance, how does that affect your homeowner's insurance rates? Okay, so there's different things to consider there. Just want to let you know it's important to have. As far as this postage is concerned, we used to mail out, like everything, like customer orders and the newsletter and all of millions of things. We don't spend that much on postage anymore, but that's what it was. In here, I also have figured out $50 in the preferred customer program. Okay. Now that's $150 per quarter. That would be about 150 customers. So if you don't have 150 customers, your expenses may not look like this. Okay. These are more of director expenses for the most part. Okay. So, and then, let's say you earn $100 as a commission as a team leader. Okay. So this is how it would break down. If you have your $1,200 in sales, 60% is $720, 40% is $480. Okay. Let's say you just needed $700 for your order. So you have $20 for whatever reason, you just didn't use the full $720. Okay. You got as close as you needed product. So then you have $20 left over for your next order. Okay. So that always stays in that column. 40%, the $200 in expenses is based on above. Okay. So that's those things on a monthly basis, which means $280. Now, one thing that we do in our family is we give ourselves like $50 a week in allowance. Okay. Sounds totally crazy. But then that $50, if we want to, if I want to take it and take the kids out, to Culver's, or if I want a pair of shoes, that's outside of the family budget. If I want to pool my money together and save, for, I don't know, doing something else, that's completely up to me. And then let's say I had $50 for something else or whatever. So if I paid $250 out to me, because it's important to pay yourself, then I'd have $30 left over. It stays in those accounts, but it's just letting you know it's a visual, if that makes sense. Okay. And then your $100 commission is maybe yours to save or spend as you like. Maybe you're going to put it, save that towards a new computer. Maybe you're going to put it towards a family vacation, those kinds of things. I do also have some other documents that are examples of exactly how you can use, your 40% side, if you're taking out a loan for your inventory, okay, 40% side, that's where your loan payment comes out of. Okay. That's your first, appointment of the month or whatever it might be. Okay. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, just broken down very, very simply as far as that goes. Oops, hang on. There we go. Okay. All right. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Just that example and being able to break that down. As far as replenishing your inventory, okay? So there's a couple different perspectives, all right? So you're replenishing your inventory. Now, full store inventory is about 3,600, okay? A 3,600 wholesale in inventory means that you have a full store and that you typically have all the products that you need that you can do instant delivery. Okay. Now, when I started my business, I did not start with a 3,600. I didn't have that big of a vision yet. Okay. Yet. So what I did was all of my sales money that was, that was coming in. I didn't do the 60-40 split. I did a little, I probably did more like 80-20 because I wanted a little bit of money to save for that computer. Okay. And so I took out a certain amount. Sorry, it was over 25 years ago. I don't remember exactly how I did it, but I know I took a little bit out to save for that computer. But otherwise, I took everything and just reinvested into my inventory to build my inventory bigger because I knew I wanted it. I started, what I started with, I knew after a while being into it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I want inventory. I want that efficiency as far as that goes. So you can choose, depending what your situation is, you can choose to reinvest all of it until you are at a profit level, or you can do like I did a mediocre kind of thing. Or if you're starting at profit level, boom, start your 60-40 right away. Okay. So kind of it's going to be right for whatever your situation is. The other thing about 60% side, don't go crazy on samples and section 2 supplies. It is so fun, right? We have all these little things and, oh, it's just $1. Oh, it's just $2. No, that adds up. You want to make sure that whatever you are purchasing, I tend to be on the, on the more conservative side with those things, because is it going to make me money? That is the question I ask myself. Is this going to make me money? Okay. And yep, I know I had already mentioned this, but as you start, aim for doing about 2 product orders a month. Okay. So you're not paying a whole bunch in shipping, because otherwise that's going to start to eat into your product. That's going to, your 60% side, because you could be purchasing more product with that to make yourself more money. Okay. So that's my recommendation there. Now, as we get into taxes, okay, so expenses for taxes. All right. Now, the first couple of years of my business, we did our taxes ourselves. Okay. So what I did with that, now we have an accountant and things like that. So whatever way you do, you choose for you. I'm glad I did it the way I did it to start out, because that taught me a lot. And what I did was every month I would take my receipts, I'd shove it all in a manila envelope. And then I should have probably done it on a monthly basis. Oh no, I did do it on a monthly basis. So I had a manila envelope for each month. And so I'd shove my receipts in there. Okay. Then every month it was a new envelope. And then at the end of the year, what I did was I'd group my receipts together and then just write on the outside of the envelope how much I had for cell phone, how much I had for copier paper, how much I had for, the different categories. Okay. So that's what I did to help me to understand it. I mean, that's what I knew how to do. Okay. So expenses for taxes, the best thing that I can tell you, consult with your accountant, but save all of your receipts. Save them. When in doubt, save it. Okay. So a couple different examples that I have as far as what I can tell you what I personally do. Okay. I already told you about business insurance, inventory insurance. Those are expenses. Save all of your invoices from Mary Kay, because then there's the shipping category on there. There's the section 2 category on there. And then there is the category that you paid for in product. Every single cotton ball that I purchase, every single Q-tip that I purchase, my postage, okay, that's all of that stuff that comes into the Johnson household, those are a business expense. I save all of those receipts. If I'm purchasing copying paper or office supplies, a computer, an iPad, a new cell phone. Now, my cell phone, I probably wrote off a certain percentage of that because I do use a little bit of it for personal use. Okay. But I will tell you, at the level of business that I do, our internet, I think I write it off at 50%. I'm trying to remember my percentages off the top of my head. Our internet, I write off at about 50%. That's huge. That's huge. Let's let's see what else. You can also take off, like square footage in your home, whatever you use for your office. Your mileage. Oh my gosh, make sure you keep track of your mileage. If you haven't done that from the beginning, just go back and take a look at your schedule book and what you've done and write that down. I have it on a little clipboard, and I have a little form that I just do to the clipboard, and I have a little pencil. Okay. And I stick it between the seats. I still do that to this day. I'm sure there's digital trackers and things like that. You could do that. Excuse me. If I'm going up to visit my mom in Green Bay, who's 2.5 hours away, and I'm taking her Mary Kay, that's Mary Kay mileage. That's business mileage. So I mileage. Mileage is a huge deduction. Okay, you guys, that will help you with your business. So those are the different things. I know there's other stuff. I'm trying to look around my office. I'm like, what else? If you need thank you note cards, if you need, notebooks or Post-its, or, your accountant might also have a list. You might also find a list somewhere or something like that. But those are the things that I do. Okay. All right, now tracking your sales. Okay, we have 2 more categories, you guys. I'm so excited. Okay, you guys, hang in there with me. Hang in there with me. Okay, tracking your sales and income for your taxes. All I'm going to tell you is that Mary Kay is brilliant. They are brilliant in how they made this business very simple for us. They gave us incredible tools to use. So we just need to make sure that we are using them. And so what I want to show you is our weekly accomplishment sheet. Okay. Weekly accomplishment sheet. Okay. Now, you all have access to this. You might not have seen it because there is a lot going on the consultant website, right? I know it's a plethora of information. I'm just going to share my screen here with you and show you where you can get a hold of this and exactly what that looks like. So now my screen, my homepage might look a little different from yours because I have a director look. So yours might look a little bit different, but I'm guessing that Mary Kay still has weekly accomplishments on the very first page. You're going to click into that. Okay. And then this is going to walk you through step by step. Look at this. This is going to walk you through step by step on what you need to enter so that come the end of the year, you guys, all of these numbers are already here for you. And so you just follow through right here. I'm going to follow through in red. If you see the sections in red, that's where you're going to make your new entries. Okay. And so this is probably new information for you because the most important part of your business is booking. Okay. And so then that's where we get you started. And then these other pieces fall into place. So you'll just need to take your pile of sales slips and you'll need to go back and just enter these. Okay. So right here, now, if you click on these little red, that will give you, record the date of the activity. So that just gives you a nice little helper as far as that goes. And so if you're going to, okay, so let's say I had an appointment today. Let's say I had a party with Susie Footsoak. Oh, well, let's not give her that name because then, Susie Jones. Okay. And then like here, you can click on this to see, what should I do? Now, all of these, number of hours, guests, orders, bookings, these categories right in here are not going to help you for taxes, but they are going to help you for tracking, and that'll be able to give you information. Let's say I spent 2 hours. We had 4 guests. We had 6 orders because she had some outside orders. And I got 2 bookings. Oh my God, this was an amazing party. Okay. And I also sold 2 skincare sets. And then what I do, people will track this differently. What I choose to do is I choose to enter every single person of what their sales were. Okay. So with Susie, I'm not going to enter her party sales, but I'm going to enter what she herself purchased before tax and after discount. So we call this right here money collected. Okay. So in that previous example, if she ordered $260 worth of stuff and you figured, tax on the 260, but then she gave you $200, okay, you're going to put, this is where it would go, 200, okay? Then again, this is just for you for tracking so that you can know what appointments are best for you. So parties, and then the sales tax, whatever the sales tax is on the 260, I'm going to say it's 1020. And then hostess gifts. This used to be like section 2, anything like that. I never record this in here because I take it off on my expenses in the other area, and this gets too difficult to track. Money given away, product given away. We gave her $60 in free product. Now, non-recovered sales tax. So this category would be if I forgot to charge her sales tax on the full $260. So if, sometimes it gets chaotic and you're wrapping things up. If I only charged her sales tax on the $200 and forgot to charge her sales tax on the $60, then I realize it as I'm going through and I'm like, oh, nuts. Well, I think it's $3.30 with the taxes on 60. So I'd type in there $3.30 because that's going to come back to me at the end when I'm doing my taxes. There will be a section that your accountant will ask for in non-recovered sales tax. Okay. So that will come back to you. We don't need to freak out. There's a column for it. Then if I were to push add, it's going to bring it down to this column. And you guys, it is going to keep a year-to-date total running for you. It is a genius tool, a absolute genius tool. Okay. So it's called Weekly Accomplishment Sheet. And it's going to be on Mary Kay In Touch. And that will help you to be able to track everything. Don't you love that? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So the last thing that I want to share with you in our session, you guys, setting your goals and using your Mary Kay money to pay for things. Watch Emily Schute's video again because she shows you exactly how to do that and to pay off credit cards. You guys, when I did not manage my money well, those choices and the debt that I incurred is suffocating and stressful. And I remember what that felt like. And it was horrible. It was horrible because it's so stressful. And you are carrying that. Mary Kay gives people hope. Mary Kay was my way out of that. Okay. You guys, in looking at this, and I looked up some numbers, average credit card debt in America is $8,000. And I know I've heard this more than once. Most families can't absorb a $400 to $1,000 unexpected expenses. We have that gift with your business. You guys, we have the access to instant cash. Go out and work for it. Go out and work for it. And that is the only thing. You guys, find a motivator for yourself. What is your money goal? And I want you to know, as far as your money goal is concerned, what are you willing to do? And then that will help you set your goal. What do you value most? I know when we were doing another training the other day and people are like, well, family, I value family. Okay. So my personal experience, right, wrong, or indifferent. This was like years ago. My husband, like I said, is brilliant with money. And we realized that okay, yeah, my Mary Kay money could go towards paying the mortgage. I was like, yeah, okay. It was not motivating to me at all. Like I said, right, wrong, or indifferent, not motivating to me at all. And I think it was because I knew that my husband's paycheck went for that. And so I was like, I know it's taken care of. Having a place to live is important to me. Okay, let's be clear. But my husband also knew that I would walk through fire for my kids. I knew he was taking care of certain things, and I take care of a lot of the kid things and stuff like that. And so he knew. So in his brilliant mind, he said, You and your Mary Kay money is responsible for paying for all of the kids' extras. And I'm like, okay, like freaking out a little bit. Okay. But I needed something to help me build my business. And that was the absolute best thing for me, because you guys, and I mean, I had to take a serious look at what did swim club cost? What did, football cost? What about band camp? What about, I don't know, you name it. I wanted to give my kids those opportunities, and it was up to me. And that can either, fuel your passion or paralyze you. I chose for it to fuel my passion. And I used that way to dial for dollars and to make those booking calls and to make those appointments and things like that. Because if I didn't have the money to pay for that, I was going to have to look at their precious little face and say, we don't have the money for that and we can't afford it. With Mary Kay, you never have to say that. Because if I would have had to say that, I am sitting on a business opportunity. If I would have had to say that into their precious little face, it was because I wasn't willing to work hard enough. It was because I was being lazy and I was procrastinating because I have the means to do so. Do you think I was going to look in that sweet little face and say that? No. And I'm not talking, mega extravagant things or anything like that, but I wanted to give my kids those opportunity and music lessons and, just all the things. And they've had all of those opportunities because money buys us choices. It doesn't buy us happiness, but it buys us choices. And so I was able to provide those things for my kids, for our kids, and since then, I've gone on to, provide us with vacations and, and all of those kinds of things, you guys. Mary Kay can do that for you. I recently, oh, good grief, even such as like I recently hit a boulder with the car. Okay. Just don't ask. Okay. That was $600 that I didn't count on. And I didn't want to deplete all of, my savings and things like that. And so I worked for it. You guys, we have the ability to work for it at Mary Kay, and we have a consumable product. We have the means. And so that is part of also the reason that, yes, the business is good for us, but it's also good for us to team build and to be able to share with other people. And so I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for saying yes to this business. Thank you for giving it a chance. Find something of what your passion is to pay for. That's one of the best things. Maybe you want to pay for a housekeeper. Maybe you want to take on the family phone bill. Like, what can you do for your family that your Mary Kay money can pay for, that your Mary Kay business can benefit your family? Because we are in business. You can totally do it for fun. That's how I started out. And I was like, okay, National Sales Director Lisa Matson started out, I think, like wanting to earn $50 a week to buy Christmas presents for her kids because they didn't have it in the family budget. That's most people, you guys, and we are sitting on this incredible opportunity. So I'm so excited. I hope you got a lot out of the money and inventory management. And you know what? There is no stopping you. There is no stopping you. There is no limits. You can earn as little or as much as you want with this business and with this company. You are in the right place at the right time. I'm so proud of you. And thank you for choosing Mary Kay, and for our team. I believe in you.